how we knew our spouse was the one. So how did you guys know? Let me start with the veterans. How did you guys know? And I'm not going to call you guys veterans throughout the whole session. How did you guys know? Well, Femi, how did you know Funmi was the one? And Funmi, how did you know Femi was the one?
So I had a dream. No, why you already laughing? Everybody knows that stuff. It's so weird. It's like the way it happened. It was when you say that phrase, the scales drop from your eyes. It's literally what kind of happened. I mean, we've been friends, same church, same choir, and everything. And then one day during drama rehearsal, the light just hit her a certain way, and I was like, ew.
That light.
But yeah, it's like, I hate using the phrase love at first sight because it's not that simple, but something clicked right there. And then getting to know her, spending time with her, she actually became my best friend. So yeah,
Wow.
it was a no-brainer.
Okay, so it was a no-brainer for you. So how did you decide to actually be with him?
Okay. So before we were ever talking or anything, I was in a previous relationship and that didn't work out. So when I got out of it, it's funny, not even less than 2 weeks after I got out of that relationship, I was sitting right here in the back of church, and Femi was walking from the stage towards the door. And I kid you not, I got a very strong impression that that was my husband. And I was like, wait, what? I was all kinds of confused by that because, again, we knew mutual people, but like there was nothing ever. So I didn't say anything to anyone. I just kind of kept it to myself. Another time we went out for his birthday, just again, we had mutual friends. And I got that impression again. And I was like,
so
okay.
when you say you got that impression, was it because of what he said?
Nope.
His
Nope.
swag? Nothing?
Nope, nothing.
It was okay.
It was just like a knowing. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
So I started after the second time I prayed about it, I started really praying about it. Like, what does that mean or whatever? Like, I don't even see him like that. I'm not attracted to him. It wasn't anything. So I got it again a third time. Again, didn't say anything to anyone. So when he kind of, approached me, asked me out, again, I was shocked by that whole situation. We went out on a few dates. I liked him as a person. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was a good guy. Prior to this, by the way, I'd written my list of top 10 things I wanted in a husband.
That list. We all have, ladies, we all have that list, right?
So when, as we were talking, I couldn't reconcile the fact that I'm like, I got this impression, but I'm not attracted to him. I don't know. I couldn't reconcile it. So we had a conversation about it. It was a blow to him. We
Come on, dog.
we kind of, so I took some time to just really think through it, pray through it. And I don't know. It's like, we were like, okay, let's take it really, and not that we were taking anything fast. We were like, let's just keep hanging out. Let's see how things go. And I don't know. Something happened. I started to see him in a different light. And I'm like, he checks all my boxes, and then, the rest is history, as they say. So.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. What about your journey? How was your journey? Because you all didn't meet in church.
Right.
How did it all start?
Well, Layo used to sit behind me in pharmacy school.
Okay.
And
you weren't paying attention, huh?
I wasn't paying attention. Like, especially during our first year of pharmacy school, I wasn't even really interested or anything. But one day,
the reason why you weren't interested?
probably in previous relationship. And
okay,
so
you were
Like remind me of a girl that I was.
Oh man! And one day we were in it was statistics class, and she walked by, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, pursue.
Oh, that's prophetic right there.
That's how it was, and I was like, man, okay, I need to try with this right here. And after that point in time, I did everything possible to pursue her and really see and make sure that, hey, this is the person. And after we started dating in our relationship, I knew immediately, like, this is the person that I need to be with and marry. It's just I had to make sure that she felt the same way. You know.
Right. Okay. And Layo, what's your version of the story? Did you hear not the pursuit? What's the opposite of pursuit? Be chased.
No, I did not.
Okay.
With Dapo, honestly, he wasn't my type. You know, he wasn't my type. You know, I'm not gonna get into that, but he just wasn't the type of guy that I would, fall for. Yeah. But I was attracted to him, though. You know, as far as physically, he I thought he was handsome, but I guess just everything else, he wasn't my type. But let's
That's the real question. If I wasn't your type, how did I get you?
Like I said,
gang. Ladies and gentlemen, gang.
Boom. He did have this swag about him.
Yes.
And like he said, he did everything. He did everything he could to, get me, and he got me. And
yes. So
everything just felt right with him. I had no worries, no doubts. Everything, when I gave him a chance, everything felt right.
Wow. So it seems like in both scenarios, he wasn't your type, but he became your type with time. So I guess we shouldn't be looking for our type only, but to be open for possibilities.
Well, it reminds me of someone.
Who?
Come on.
Hey.
that
Do you want to tell? You
She's
can
wearing
share.
a yellow shirt.
Spill that tea.
She's sitting right next
Why
to me.
don't you share? Why don't you share your experience or your story about
All right.
how
So every time we talk about our story, how we met, there's her story, there's my story, and then there's a real story. So, because of what we're doing today, real stories, real couple, I'm going to talk about the real story.
Please do.
So, I was leading praise and worship one Sunday, and as I was leading praise and worship, I just looked into the crowd and I saw someone falling under the anointing.
Come on now.
Tell the truth, baby.
All right.
Tell the truth.
So I was sitting upstairs in church, all right, the real story. And my friend and I, Ayabami, I think I just gotten out of a relationship as well. And we were sitting upstairs, and GNN, our Good News Network, which is known as RAM TV now, came on, and they were advertising a singles conference. And this lady came on screen, and she was talking about the singles conference. I think it was Feel the Fire. And I was like, man, I'm feeling your fire. Like, I looked at Ayabami, and I was like, wow. Like, she comes to this church? Like, okay, let's go. I was like, I'm going to that singles event. And I remember going to the event, and she wasn't there. So I said, maybe, she was late or something. So I waited till the next event they had, and she still wasn't there. And I was like, man, this is false advertising. This lady's not there. So I gave up looking, and I decided to take a class in church called Foundational Class. And once I entered the class, sitting across the room was this lady I've been looking for all my life. And as I walked into the class, I think, our eyes just met, and she was just like,
No,
like there's a seat next to her.
This is where I'm going to take over. Everything he said prior to that is true. I did not say come and sit here. You made your way to come and sit next to me. Let's be clear. And when I first saw him, because I had seen him in church, and he was part of the dance ministry, flipping from upstairs, doing backflips, and I was just like,
so I wasn't your type.
You was not my type. I actually thought you were much younger with me. I remember calling my sister and telling her right after that class, like, oh my gosh, there's this sweet guy that came into our foundation class, and he just kept glowing. Mind you, I didn't know why he was smiling. I was like, he just kept smiling at me like, I think I want to mentor him. I think I want to mentor him.
Is that what you're going with? You want to mentor
because
him?
I thought he was
Seriously?
at least 5 years younger than me, just because he was so active. He has a baby face, but he had a baby face then. And I was just like, this is so sweet. He has a crush. And she was like, yeah, we'll find out what he wants to do. Maybe you can't. You like mentoring people. Maybe you can mentor him. And then he spoke to me, a couple of times, and we decided to study together for foundation class. And, I think that's it, right? Am I missing anything?
You got it.
Okay. So that's how we met. All right. So we talked about the list. I also had a list. And after I got to know him, he did meet, I think my list was about 107.
107.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah, come on now.
No, she's serious.
I'm not even
100.
joking.
Wow.
Because when
Was
you
it on
go
Excel?
through things,
Like,
No, actually, what happened was I wrote it.
It was on a
out.
piece of paper.
It was on a piece of paper.
Yes.
And this was at the time when Oprah was talking about write your list. And I had been through so many things. I'm like, if his name starts with this letter, I'm good. If it's this, and that, because I didn't want. I know it's crazy, but thankfully his name started with the right letter, and everything else on the list he met. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and move forward with this. But